Alrighty, what is up everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning in to another video, man. So today's video will be pretty much a 2020 gear buying guide, because every single week of every day, man, I get messages of people asking me, is this microphone good? Is this audio interface good? So I pretty much just want to give you my thoughts on, the current gear that's out right now, and, kind of introduce you to how I think one would approach buying new gear, you know what I mean? So I'll run through a bunch of cool stuff that I found that you may be interested, if you're looking to upgrade your setup and whatnot. And if you maybe don't have the cash right now, it'll be cool to stick around so you can just kind of get a better understanding of, how one would want to invest in brand new gear. So with that being said, man, let's get it. Alright, so I'm here in Sweetwater. Now you can obviously go in and I'm not price matching or anything like that. So this will just be kind of a rough guide. So the first thing, obviously, and by the way, we'll be focusing on primarily vocal recording. I'm assuming you have a computer. I'm assuming you have your own headphones. Okay, those things you can kind of sort out by yourself. But the first most important thing you'd want to get, as you can see, is a USB audio interface. If you're a Mac user, you would have to go find a Thunderbolt one, and that's really up to you. So yeah, man, USB interface is important. It's going to help you unload certain CPU intensive tasks off your CPU onto the sound card, so you can get a better experience recording. Basically, I don't really know the science behind all of it, but it offloads resources and makes your life a bit easier, and it also gives you outputs and that kind of thing. So the first interface that I would look at getting, so we'll be kind of going from left to right, and left will always be cheapest, right will always be most expensive. But I have three options right here. The first would be this one right here, man. If you really don't have any money and just want to start recording, this is where it's at. All right, the Behringer Euphoria UM2, $40. I mean, that's insane, man. When I started recording, there was nothing like this, so you really have no excuse to start recording. Now obviously this is something that you would eventually upgrade from, and the reason I say that is because, for example, here it has these RCA outputs, which are not really ideal for professional studio use. And the only reason I say that is because if you want to get speakers, your speakers are not going to, why do we not get a oh, there we go, RCA speakers. Now obviously you can get converter cables and that kind of thing, but ideally you want quarter-inch or XLR outputs on your audio interfaces. So that's why something like this eventually you would upgrade from, but this will get the job done. I have heard people use this on YouTube reviews and stuff, and it doesn't sound bad. All right, so there's no excuse. $40, that's great. All right, so after that, man, is pretty much the most universally approved audio interface, which is the Focusrite Scarlett series. The Solo stuff is cool. I mean, obviously the Solo and whatever else is in that same Scarlett range are the same, pretty much, just more outputs or less outputs. But this is pretty much what you would get, man, if you were looking to start recording. It has everything you need to start your studio life. It's got your quarter-inch outputs, so you can connect them to your speakers. It's got a really nice sounding microphone preamplifier. The third gen stuff is amazing for the price. I mean, $110, man. That's a couple shifts at the job, man, and you can start recording. So something like this I would probably recommend for anyone starting off, because from the get-go you're going to get good quality sound, right? Obviously it has a converter in it, so you want to make sure that the converter sounds alright. Now obviously Focusrite stuff has stood the test of time. It sounds great. You can plug your microphone in, enable this air button, and get a nice airy sounding recording. You're good to go. Alright, so that's definitely an option. Next would be the Audient ID 14, and this is more your higher end kind of audio interface. So $200 is quite a lot of money, but this is probably going to get you the best possible sound for under $300. Alright, and you get a few options, or you get pretty much the basic options right here. You get your two speaker outputs, but you get two microphone inputs, so you can record your vocals and the guitar, for example, at the same time. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, those are audio interfaces, man. Anything other than that, you can go UAD if you really want to spend $1,000 on an interface. But if you're just starting off, I wouldn't go over $300 for something like this. All right, so next we will be talking about microphones. Okay, so for recording vocals, you do, in my opinion, you'd probably want to get yourself a condenser microphone. Okay, a large diaphragm condenser microphone. These would be small diaphragm condenser microphones, not really needed for recording vocals. You can use them for vocals, but there's a reason why large diaphragm microphones are popular for vocal recording. So we'll run through my options, starting from cheapest. Now this was my first ever microphone, and this is what kind of got me into recording. This is all I could find, and it was the cheapest option, and it worked. All right, the downside to this microphone is that it is noisy, so you're gonna have to find yourself a nice noise gate. I mean, look at this, man, $2 a month on financing. That's crazy. I would rather just save up the money. All right, $58 ain't too bad. But this is all you need, man. You stick your XLR cable in and you start recording. You need to get yourself a cable and plug it into your interface and you're good to go. I mean, what? So $40 for $58, and then another $15 on the XLR and you are recording. All right. So not the greatest specialist microphone, most special microphone, but it is going to get the job done. And I used it, and some of the records I did sounded okay. So definitely an option. Next to that, man, this is probably the best sleeper microphone you can find. I heard that these are probably discontinued, I think. I don't know if it's this exact one, but these are really nice sounding microphones for the price, man. Definitely go check out a YouTuber called Podcast Stage. So for example, just YouTube SE Electronics X1 and then type in Podcast Stage and you're going to see he's a really good voiceover reviewer guy. He tests out different microphones. And this microphone sounds amazing, man. There's something about SE microphones that I can say sound better than most other microphones within the price range. They're really well made. They're made in China, but they the company was started by a business guy who was really interested in recording, and he does take pride in, creating good products. So I can personally vouch for SE, man. I mean, my SE 2200, which you'll see later on, made me a ton of cash, man. Recording clients, recording myself, and that kind of thing. So great company. $100, I would personally say this is the best one for this price range. After that, man, if you want to get into the more expensive kind of end of microphones, Lantern Audio, I think, is an American company, I would assume, but they make some really nice microphones, man. $289, you can get your boom stand and all that kind of stuff. But this is where things really start to make a difference in terms of sound quality. These have a certain tone to them, so transformer balanced, as you can see. The bearing is gone now, but it said transformer list. So that means, when it's lacking certain components within the microphone, it tends to sound quite neutral. That's where cheap gear kind of starts to tether off, is, it doesn't have that tone to it. You know what I mean? So, this is where you can get that nice, creamy sounding vocal sound, for $250. So that's quite a lot of money, but definitely a good option. After that, man, definitely, as I said before, I can vouch for this exact microphone. If you want to spend a bit more, I only realized now I didn't include it in the list, but the 2300 is like $400, so that's quite expensive. But I think you can find them on sale on different sites, but I can vouch for this microphone. But probably if I had to choose again, I'd probably have gone for the Lantern Audio for $250. It's a good price. So yeah, man, after that, this is probably the coolest microphone you can find for $300, and I think I might buy myself one just for the fun of it. They're quite expensive in my country. I think they're a bit cheap in the States, $300. But this is a U47 clone, pretty much. It's kind of using the same circuitry as a U47. For those who don't know, the U47 is already a renowned Neumann microphone. But this is pretty much like a spin-off of it. But I've heard it on Warm Audio's channel, and man, does it sound good. I would, if I needed a new microphone, I would probably buy one of these. Alright, this is a really interesting sounding microphone. So that's probably the best mic you can get for under $300. Okay. So after that, man, audio active monitors or studio monitors. You want to go for active monitors because that means that they have an amplifier within them. Now, I'm not really going to spend too much time on all the different speakers that you can find, but if you're looking for speakers on a budget, actually let's add this to the list as well. These are really interesting speakers as well, man. If you're living in an apartment complex or something and you can't get loud, obviously, like in terms of bass and that kind of thing, these are definitely cool. These will definitely work well if you're gaming as well. They're kind of the size of those standard small desktop monitors, but these pack a punch, man. I mean, I've been at a studio, with guys using these, and these are loud. Okay, I mean, I loud for sure. These can get really loud. So that's an option right there, man. But the option that's always going to work are the Yamaha HS5s, man. Anything from the HS series, I would recommend HS5 if you're still in your bedroom or something like that, because HS8 are too large for a small room. They tend to sound quite boomy, but these definitely, have a kind of more refined frequency response for smaller rooms, so you can get away with, putting them in front of you, for example, if you're right on your desk and getting a pretty nice sound, man. You want speakers to be truthful, so they are going to be, your music isn't going to sound great, but once you learn how to mix on these speakers, you're going to be able to, translate your mixes better to, cell phones and that kind of thing, and, if you can make a song sound good on these speakers, they will sound good in a car, for example, So that's what makes these speakers special. Yamaha, Japanese culture, man, how they are. So good stuff. And then, the newer speakers, man, these days. And remember, man, these are each, so you're going to spend $400 for two speakers. So definitely go and find a deal somewhere for two, for example, two speakers for like, 350, something like that, if you can find a deal like that. Cali Audio, definitely a brand new company. I think they came in the game in like 2017 or something, but I've seen a lot of YouTubers reviewing them, and if they can vouch for them, I'm sure they're pretty good. What makes these speakers interesting is that they have all of these kind of settings that you can use, for different scenarios. As you can see, your scenario will probably be having your speakers on the desk, so you can actually use the switches and mess around and hopefully get a more flat sounding experience. So yeah, man, that's pretty much all. The last thing I'll talk about is if you have the money, I would definitely recommend buying an external microphone preamp. So the way you'd connect it up, I know a lot of people ask how they would do that, is let's just say this was our audio interface, right? So what you would do is you would so let's just find the preamp that I would recommend. Is this one right here. This is pretty much a clone version of the microphone preamp I'm using right now. I've got a Neve 1073, and this would be a 1073 Junior, which is really interesting. So it'll have a transformer in it, and it seems fun, man. I would get it. But what you would do is you would plug your microphone into there, and from there you would plug another cable out into your audio interface. So you would go into there, and that's pretty much how you connect a external microphone preamp into an audio interface. So there are definitely some cool preamps to find. Check your local Craigslist if you live in the States, or if you're in Europe, check out your local shops and that kind of thing, and maybe you can find something interesting for cheap. I remember I went to the store and bought some really cool homemade preamps that some voiceover studio was using, and they sounded pretty good, man. I used them for like a year straight, and they never failed. So benefits to using a external preamp is you will get a bit more juice. Decent microphones will sound even better coming through preamps because they have a bit more color in them, whereby a audio interface will have very neutral sounding preamps. So it doesn't really make a difference, but it is nice to have if you have the budget for it. So yeah, man, hopefully you learned something, and feel free to ask any questions in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer. So yeah, hopefully this makes sense. Peace out.